All right, everybody. We are live once again here. BP News. Sending out the alerts right now. Getting ready to watch what Trump has to say here on the Venezuela situation. He just had a big meeting, I guess, cabinet meeting that he let everybody kind of look in on in preparation, I guess, for this announcement. This announcement is supposed to be at 2 p.m. West Coast time, East Coast time, but it's a little bit late, obviously, because they just finished up their cabinet meeting. And the cabinet meeting was just a bunch of, happy talk, and we did it all right, they did it all wrong, the same statements that you hear ad nauseum over and over and over and over and over again. It's all Biden's fault. We've inherited this terrible war. This would have never happened. We've got the greatest economy ever, the hottest economy, the hottest country ever. You don't believe your lying eyes because the press is lying to you. Just basically the same thing. That was just happening just now. So you guys might have missed that. I'm just sending out the alerts right now. So just sent out a message on the messaging app. I'm also sending out the push notifications. Some of you may just have gotten those. And we're getting ready to launch our major messaging campaign here soon. As soon as all these things begin to unfold, which I think is very soon, there's going to be many tens of thousands of people that are going to get these messages. And our place will be filled with new people. So I pray you're all ready for that. Hello, Treasure. Good to see you. Laffy, I see you in the house. I just sent out these text alerts. Did anybody get those alerts just now? I just sent them just now. And in preparation for all the things that they're going to say, we're just going to kind of hang out here and look at some news. It's kind of crazy because I got that whole Venezuela thing is just really brewing right now. And they're saying this is what the cabinet meeting that just was held by Trump. He had everybody there. Hegseth, Rubio, I think Kristi Noem was there as well. They basically said that what's going on in Venezuela is not what it seems. And he made reference to fentanyl. Obviously, fentanyl's killing people. But he's intimating that there's something else that is very important that's happening, and I have a feeling that, as I've been telling you guys, this is about. And he said that we were teetering on the brink of either making it as a country or not. This is exactly what we've been telling you. We're on the edge. We're on the precipice. He made it sound like he didn't make it sound as doomish as what I've been telling you, but he basically said that we're on the edge of either going bad or going good as a country. And he's bringing this all to bear upon this one situation that they're going to be speaking about in a few minutes. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to come back, but about the Venezuela situation, which I think is related to everything. It's actually connected to everything that's going on with Russia, with China, and it's right here in our own backyard. And as he said, this doesn't have just to do with fentanyl. As we've been telling you, this is all a big, it's a big lie. Now, I'm not saying that the fentanyl isn't a problem, but the fentanyl is not coming in through Venezuela. The fentanyl is coming in through the cartels, and China is the author of all the substances that make fentanyl. So really, if you really want to lay it on the doorstep of all these people that are dying in the U.S. from overdoses, you can lay it at the doorstep of China. We should be invading China. We should be regime changing China, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go after this little country here and blame them and make them the boogeyman. And then we're going to go in and take their oil. That's what we're going to do. So this announcement should be very interesting. So here's what Trump said a little bit ago, just a few minutes ago. There is more to this story than fentanyl. Oh, really? You don't say. The blowing up of boats, everything that's going on in Venezuela. Venezuela does traffic. I'm not saying that they're not a corrupt, government. There's a lot of corrupt governments. Most governments are corrupt. But they're more into the cocaine. And from what I understand, about 10% of the cocaine that comes into America does have some kind of connection to Venezuela, but mostly Colombia and some of the other areas in the South American continent. But most of that fentanyl, like I said, is coming from, and all the base, components that make up fentanyl come from China, and maybe some India. So we're going to be listening in here as soon as it goes live. We got a live feed here, and it does look like something pretty significant is happening here. You guys got your alerts? Oh, good. And if you're new to the channel, you definitely want to make sure you download the app, get connected to our push notifications, or go right directly and get our SMSs by texting the word BP News to 844-641-1444. And you will be instantly opted in. Well, you have to opt in. You got to opt in. I can't just add you in. You got to opt in so that you don't get spammed. And that's the way to do it right there. I just stuck it in the chat room. You can also find the links under the video description if you're watching this in the archives. So we're preparing for the big events that are going to be unfolding here in our world really soon. So I have a big list for those who don't know. It's like Santa's list, 35,000 people that I'm going to end up messaging here pretty soon when all these things begin to unfold. So some of you are already on our list. It's only a very small percent. It's probably like 1% of all the people I'm going to be starting to message here pretty soon. So we need your guys' support. We need your guys' help. We need your guys' prayers, because when we start having thousands of people showing up, we definitely want to make sure that we're putting out the truth and getting that message out that's going to give people an understanding of really what's going on. So we're going to be back to the old school subscribers from back in the day. And, SMS alerts cost us money. And if anybody was following us back in the early 2000s, you'll remember that, we were sending out lots of text messages, and our channel was very large. You got the text, but not the Telegram alert. Okay, did I even post it on Telegram? You know what? I might have forgot. Thank you for telling me that, because I don't even think I posted it on Telegram yet. Did I? I think I didn't post it on Telegram. Thank you thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, so I just posted it on Telegram. Okay, so if you're dependent just on Telegram, you need to be careful, because the reason we're doing this is because their censorship is very possible once again. The last time censorship was really bad was under Trump's administration, both in 2017 is when they first started, and then again in 2020 as we went into COVID. So all of these terrible censorships, and the reason why I developed the text alert messaging app was to circumvent the censorship, and it worked. Because all other channels were being taken down, our channel continued to grow. All I did was I just opened up another YouTube channel, sent out my text alerts, and I would get 10,000 people show up instantly to a brand new channel. And so that's what we're doing again. Now, those text messages cost 2 cents each. And so you times that by 35,000. You understand, every time I press the button, it cost me some money. But because we had a large audience, we had people that supported what we did. And so we're going to do that again. So if you're out there and you want to support what we're doing right now, get behind what we're doing. Send us a donation. If you like what you're seeing and you understand what we're doing, and you want to see this channel grow, You want to be a part of that growth? Then get behind what we're doing. We got a lot of supporters right now coming on board. We've got members. We've got a church that's basically the heart of what we do, the heart and the soul of what we do here. And if you are a believer and you are a Christian and you want to be a part of our online fellowship/church, then you get the app and you'll find the church right there too. And you can subscribe to the church and get involved on a daily basis. We are going to be opening back up, I think, the Mighty app as well. That's also a place where people go, like a Twitter, Facebook environment, but it's only our environment. There's about 6,000 people subscribed to that. And once we start paying for the pro feature once again, because it is actually an enterprise feature, because we have such a large group, then everything will come back online. Now, people can still access it, but it's not got all the frills and the thrills in it. So we're going to start doing that once again. Looking at some of your comments here, and we're just waiting for the president to go live here. Russia is supposedly in Venezuela. Yes, they are. And I believe China is as well. Okay, so Packing Heat says, I'm only in this live feed because I'm unemployed again. Went from the top 10% to the bottom 10% overnight. Please pray for my family. Yes, we will continue to do that. I know there's a lot of people suffering economically, even though Trump continues to say we have the hottest economy. It is a hot economy for the top 10%. But the average American has lost a lot of purchasing power and a lot of value, a lot of it due to AI, a lot of it due to inflation, even though the president says that we shouldn't believe our lying eyes. It's not the press, it's the average person. You know, there's thousands and thousands of people on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter that are talking about how food prices have increased since Trump got in, by over half, at least. He pointed to the eggs today. You know, like I told you guys earlier, he points to the eggs and then he points to gas prices, but he doesn't point to all the tens of thousands of other products that have gone up in price that you have to buy as a person, you know, that you're needing, whatever it is that you're going to need, that is your cost of living. Your cost of living has gone up under Trump, and it's all due to tariffs. Now they're saying they're going to get rid of income tax. You know why? Because you're getting taxed right now on tariffs as a middle class. Now the business, and I even heard that Costco is suing Trump. There's been other big businesses that have sued Trump because they've been paying all of these, what they say is illegal tariffs. One company already won. I don't remember which company it is, but it was a very large company that won in the Supreme Court a lawsuit against the Trump administration. I don't know if it's Trump personally that they're suing or if it's the Trump administration, but now Costco is in a huge hundreds of millions of dollar lawsuit against Trump to try to reverse this. As the other company won, they're pointing to that as their precedent, but they're really trying to show that this is an illegal thing that's happening. But Trump is saying, hey, we're going to get rid of income tax, but we're already paying tax through the tariffs. So if you're paying income tax, you're still paying double. That's why it feels like your purchasing power has just dropped through the floor. But Packing Heat is just one example. I mean, there's just tens of thousands. I mean, I've been looking at videos daily on all the social media about people that are just freaking out. But what you hear in the media is, you know, Trump saying that everybody's got fake news when it's not fake news. I mean, the reason why we're invading Venezuela is we need energy. We need that supplement because we don't have enough to power the AI system that's coming online. And that's why your heating prices are going up. That's why your electrical prices are all going through the roof. I mean, people have seen a more than 50% increase in their electric bills. How many of you guys have, let's just take a poll. How many people here in my chat room right now have seen a huge increase in your electric bills in the last few months? Let's say probably the last 6 months. How many of you guys have seen a huge increase? Type 1 if you've seen a huge increase and you can't believe your lying eyes. How you can't believe your lying eyes? Anybody? Just curious, how many people are seeing an increase in their energy costs? Okay, that's a tax right there. How many of you guys are seeing increases in prices all across the board, whatever you're buying, besides eggs? Oh, because, eggs are the big thing. Oh, he lowered prices on eggs. Got everybody happy on that. Okay, well, that's fine. But still, I go to the supermarket. Eggs are still like $7 a dozen for the good eggs. If you want to buy those eggs that they feed dead chickens to, if you want to get the chickens that are all GMO'd and they're injecting them with mRNAs, vaccines, and all that other crap, well, those eggs are $1, $2 a dozen. But all the good eggs, like the organic eggs, those are like still $8 a dozen, $10. Some places still $10. But if you want to eat like crap, yeah, that's fine. You want to eat McDonald's, that's good. Even McDonald's is really expensive, but hey, at least they're frying the death food in synthetic tallow now. The synthetic tallow. It's not real tallow. But hey, at least they're doing something a little bit that makes you feel like they're doing something healthy. I mean, even though Trump promotes McDonald's ad nauseum with his health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is a complete weak-minded character that just goes along with whatever he's told, even though he knows it's unhealthy, he promotes McDonald's. Okay, so they're having these meal deals now. Remember when meal deals with all the back in the day when you get a meal deal, oh, you get a Big Mac, it was 25 cents or 50 cents, right? There was like little deals that they would do. Or you get a meal for like $1.50 or $2, fries, a Coke, and a Big Mac or something like that. Now your meal deals are like $8. Like $7. Like, here, it's a meal deal. It's like $6. Amazing price for a meal deal. What? What happened to the dollar menu? It's like it's a $5 menu now. Wow, you're getting it for a real deal now, $5. But anyways, fast food is terrible. It'll kill you. And I was telling people the other day, anytime you buy a box of fries from any fast food place, it's as many carcinogens as are in that little bag of fries or that little box of fries that are in a cart that are in a pack of cigarettes. It's almost equal in carcinogen effects on the body. So you're basically just smoking a pack of cigarettes when you eat a little box of fries from McDonald's. Yeah, it's true. What's in the fries is killing people. You got to do your research on all that. But anyways, don't eat fast food. You'll have a short life. Soylent Green. Elizabeth, God bless. Thank you. You've been a member for 11 months. Look at Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you were one of the first out there. You were one of the first people out there that started supporting our channel, when we kind of came back. Elizabeth says, my brother is an electrical engineer, and he says that electricity prices are going up and up because of AI centers being installed. Yes, and that's true. Trump said when he first came in and brought in his AI super team, for the Stargate program. Remember that? $500 billion investment right off the bat. He's got all these other countries putting in trillions of dollars, right? Supposedly they're building the AI infrastructure all over the world. Trump's ahead of that, just like he's the Bitcoin president. But he said that the AI needs dedicated power centers because our electrical grid is faulty and we can't depend on it. So we're gonna make sure that the AI has a dedicated grid. It's all secure. So we don't want the AI to go off. You can go. Your electricity can go off. You're of no consequence at this point. You'll be able to handle it. But AI needs to be always online. So we're gonna dedicate those power grids to those sensors. They're gonna have their own power grid. But you you little plebs out there, you peasants, you serfs, you're just going to have to make do with whatever you get at this point. The prices are high, yeah, but hey, we have to compete. This is like the race to the nuclear bomb. This is whoever gets it first is going to dominate the world. So you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You got to make some sacrifices, but that's about the way it's supposed to go. Looking at some of your comments. Back in the day, a cheeseburger, fries, and a small Coke could get change back from $1. Really? That's amazing. And back then, hamburgers and fries were real. It was real food. It was good. It was good food. I mean, it wasn't like going to kill you. Like it was natural mostly. But now it's all fake. You don't even know what's in it. You don't even know what they put in it. It's like I'd be very scared now to even eat anything like that. Someone's saying why are we surprised? We can't stop what is written in the Bible. Well, that's true. I think we are biblically speaking in a latter day scenario. For those who don't know their Bible prophecy, I think everything is falling into place, especially when you're talking about AI technologies and robotics and nanotech, grid surveillance, satellite, whatever else. They do everything. Smart dust. I mean, have you ever heard about smart dust, nanoparticles? I don't know. That might be something that they're spraying in the skies too. They used to deny that was even a program, and now they admit it. So, it's kind of like, you're crazy for thinking that there's chemtrails. You're one of those conspiracy theorists. You're one of those kooks out there. They think you didn't land on the moon. But you know what? Now they're admitting it. This is like the whole thing with the alien disclosure. People were like always crazy that talked about UFOs. Oh, but now top government officials and, black op program leaders are now coming out of the closet and saying, it's all real. We got alien bodies. The government knows. Alien body. I can't believe some of the stuff I'm watching. It's like X-Files on mainstream media and government officials that are high level classification, like intel people that are not fake. And they're coming out and talking about X-Files. And how they were trying to kill them for and threatening their lives for even wanting to talk about it. Now they're letting the cat out of the bag, right? Because our space program is going to help save us from the alien. They said they're I was watching a video yesterday that said that these aliens are nefarious. Some of them are nefarious. They have nefarious intent. But this is exactly what Vernon von Braun, who was Hitler's right hand rocket scientist that came over to America in the 50s. Remember the Operation Paperclip? He came over to help our NASA program get us to the moon, right? He was a very big player. And he had warned when he died, right before he died in the mid-70s, I think it was, he had warned his secretary, there's a video of this, I have it on YouTube, where she talks about how he told her that they would go through different phases, but the last phase, and he would laugh every time he would talk about it, he kept warning her that they were going to say that there was an alien invasion, potential alien problem, and that our space program was to try to stop the aliens, right, or to help keep us protected. But he said that satellite space program would be more for weapons. He said it would be a cover for weapons of mass destruction, but it wouldn't have anything to do with aliens. That it's other things that they're saying. They're saying, okay, just so you know, the president is going to speak on the Trump announcement here real soon. That it was supposed to have happened at 2:00 East Coast time, but they just recently had early morning. They had a cabinet meeting that went over time. The cabinet meeting just stopped, like right after 2. It was like 2:15, and they went overtime, and they were just chatting about all kinds of stuff. It was more of a feel-good kind of meeting where they kind of controlled the conversation, and they had a few different journalists that they have handpicked to ask them questions. They didn't really go into any details about Venezuela or anything. It was more about, past administration, bad. This was like almost 2 hours of Trump talking. Trump just talking. Just getting it all off his chest, making sure everybody knows how great he is, making sure everybody knows how awesome America is, making sure everybody knows how bad America was before he came back in, and how it got bad because, the election was stolen. He just goes over that over and over. He wants to make sure everybody, it's kind of like Joseph Goebbels. You tell a lie long enough and loud enough, and pretty soon it becomes the truth. And I'm going to say this about Trump as well as the Biden administration, both Republicans and Democrats. I don't care if it's a white hat or a black hat. It's still the same hat. Okay, the yin or the yang. It's still the same coin. You got the heads or the tails. It's still the same. They're doing the same thing. They're playing you off of each other. They're getting you to fight and think it's a real fight. It's like WWE. Is it real? No, it's fake. All fake wrestling. It's fake politics. And I said this before. You got Jesse Ventura, the body, who used to be a big-time wrestler, and then he got into politics and he became the governor of Minnesota. He said the same thing. He said, the Wrestling Federation, we all play around and we hate each other when we're on camera and we make all kinds of show theater. We try to hit each other and kill each other when we're on the stage, but it's all fake. And after we're done, we all go out and have beers and pat each other on the back and we're friends. He said the same thing happens in Congress. He said the same things happen in politics. He goes, it's no different. You know what? He's not a citizen of the U.S. anymore. He moved to Mexico. He doesn't want to, he says America is too dangerous. Mexico is safer than America. That's what he says. You go check it out. Yeah, there is an announcement. It was 2 hours of BS. What Troy said. It was a 2 hour long fest of just complete garbage. So, and I'm not even going to go back I just kind of skimmed through it because I didn't watch it. I watched parts of it. I watched segments and I just couldn't believe what I was listening to. And I went through the transcript to kind of see what they said about Venezuela. And the only thing they really said was that it's not what you think, and it's not just about fentanyl, and that we're on the precipice. He's basically going to scare the whole American, the whole world probably, by saying that we're about to do something because we could either go either way. Our country could either be destroyed or we can save it. This is what he's saying right now. This is the little insight he gave us to probably what he's going to be talking about here in a few minutes. And I don't know how long it's going to be until he gets on here. Trump says he doesn't want, here's some of the breaking news on what he said about Somalia. This is a live feed, by the way. This is an AP feed. Let me see. I just saw this here really quick. Let me give you guys some news here. Trump says he doesn't want Somalis in the U.S., and he urges Somalians to go back to their homeland and fix it. So he said this in reference to one of the Congresswomen, Uhan Almar, whatever her name is. But then he also, I guess, said it in a blanket statement for all Somalis. Officials are preparing immigration operations inside of Minnesota and would primarily focus on Somali immigrants, the AP source says. So they're going after Somali immigrants inside of Minnesota. Trump has just spoken with Netanyahu, it looks like, this was yesterday, seeking more support for his push to receive a pardon from Israeli President Itzhak Herzog amid his ongoing corruption trial. So he's really looking for Trump to help him to try to get out of that because they really want to hang him in Israel. Netanyahu was keeping this war going, I think, just to keep him out of court because they tried to get him back into court halfway through, and then the war got all bad again, remember? the war got really bad. I can't go to court now because I got to go back to the war room. So now that it's kind of simmered down, they're going back after Netanyahu. They want to get him. They want to hang him up by his toes. And a lot of Israelis don't like him. And, they're going after his corrupt ways, I guess. And Trump was advocating for him a while back, saying, don't go after him just because he was smoking cigars and drinking nice wines and caviar and whatever else he was doing. I guess he was supposedly wasting taxpayers' dollars or something like that. I don't even know the details of it, but you got to kind of wonder how Israel was attacked, because that normally doesn't, they say a bug, if even a bug gets close to the fence, it's a 5 alarm. Everybody knows. All the IDF know. They don't even let it get close to the fence. So for the fence to be wide open and the border for 2 or 3 hours before there was even a response, there's some big accountability that needs to be ferreted out in the failures of the IDF, because that would never happen in a million years. Okay, here we go. Big announcement. Woo! My fellow Americans, I just want to let you know that everything is awesome. We're making all kinds of money on Bitcoin and... Hey, wait, I'm scooting off here. My meme coin, it's just going great. Whoops. They moved my camera on me. Messed me up, man. What's going on here? I guess we're all waiting with hush. Is this going to be the big moment? Are we about to find out if we're going to war? What's going to happen? With bated breath, we all wait. My goodness. All right, you guys. So, like I said, make sure you get connected to us on our social media by downloading our app. You can find that link in the description below. You can also get on our push notification alert system as well. Anytime major news breaks, we're going to be going live. All the feeds, got the best news coverage anywhere, bar none. We're not afraid to show you the news and tell you the truth. We're not going to tell you sweet little lies just to keep a big audience. We like to offend people too. No, we don't. We don't like to offend, but hey, we're not afraid to offend. I'd rather hold to the truth and tell you the truth, because that's real love, right? Real love is going to tell you the truth. It's not going to tell you what you want to hear. So anyways, we're here to tell you the truth and share with you guys what's really going on behind the scenes. We got lots of intel that comes from social media. We monitor lots of channels, whether it's Telegram, Twitter, Facebook, forums. We get all kinds of info. And we'll get you all the feeds. When everything does go down, we'll get you all the feeds. We'll pipe them in. And we'll have multiple feeds many times. And great commentary on top of all that. Right? All right. And get your pillow. Yeah, we want to sell pillows. And can't forget the My Pillow guy. We don't hawk any foreign products. Any products that are made in China. I don't know. Does the My Pillow guy make all of his stuff in China? I just can't. I could never do that. They wanted me to sell the My Pillow guy, and I was like, no way. None of that. Gold. These gold companies trying to hawk gold, and it's not even getting people to have gold in their possession. It's trying to get them to buy, gold certificates or gold IRAs. You don't want to do any of that. That is all scam. Anybody that's trying to get you to buy a gold IRA, that's the stupidest thing you could do. Get the gold, get the silver, and put it in your safe or put it somewhere. Midnight, gardening out there. You want to have it in your hot hand when everything does fall apart, because you ain't going to get that gold or silver when it all falls apart. You try to go with it. I'd like my gold now, please. But, it's Mad Max right now, and I need my gold and silver. You're not going to get it. they're not going to care at that point. Paper gold, yeah, it's like Bitcoin. How are you going to get your Bitcoin out? Sir, I'm really hungry. My family needs some food, and I know you got lots of food there. Will you take a Bitcoin? No. What is a Bitcoin? In this economy, the only thing that matters is, what you can do, what kind of tools you got, what kind of resource you got, how you got any commodities you want to trade. I'll trade you something for, something real, but not Bitcoin. You can take a Bitcoin. I don't care how many Bitcoins you got. It ain't going to work. Right now, you can turn it into resources. Uh-oh, here he comes. Uh-oh, here they come. Ba, 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 ba.
Nice to see you again. That was a long news conference we had before, wasn't it? Yeah, but it was a good one. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we're thrilled to be joined by one of the most successful business leaders and people anywhere in the country, whether it's technology, no matter what business you're talking about, there's really nobody quite like him. He's chairman and CEO of Dell Technologies. Make great everything, great computers, great everything. Michael Dell, very much of a legend, who's here with his really exciting announcement. It's so amazing, and much more importantly, he's here with his wonderful wife, Susan, and they have a special relationship. I think I can say that, really. It's very nice. I don't see too much of it. I see the opposite, but I don't see too much. I have two special people, and I've seen that. I've known that for a long time, and I think it's a tremendous thing. Also, the CEO of Altamir Capital, Brad Gerstner. Where are you, Brad? Brad Gerstner is a terrific fellow who's very much involved in this incredible thing that we're doing today, along with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Treasury Secretary, Scott Besson, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Commerce and Science and Transportation, Ted Cruz, House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith, Vice Chairman of the House Republican Conference, Blake Moore, as well as the Chief Design Officer of the United States Airbnb co-founder, Joe Gebbia. I want to thank you all for being here. It's a great group. And I guess a potential Fed chair is here, too. I don't know. Are we allowed to say that? Potential. He's a respected person, that I can tell you. Thank you, Kevin. Today is Giving Tuesday. I don't know if anybody's heard that one before, but it is indeed Giving Tuesday, one of the biggest days of the year for philanthropy and charitable giving. And this afternoon, Michael and Susan Dell are committing to one of the largest private donations in American history, which will directly benefit the next generation of American children through the new Trump Accounts program that we created in our One Big Beautiful Bill. And Michael and Susan came to see me along with Brad, and they said, this is an idea. And I said, I think, it sounded just so good and so unique. But that's why he's been so successful, and they've been so successful in life and in business, because they're unique. Trump Accounts will be the first, I guess you could say, real trust funds for every American child, allowing family members, employers, corporations, generous donors to contribute money that will be invested and grow over the course of a child's life to be used for their benefit after they turn 18. So in other words, these are children that are going to, an investment's going to be made. That investment's going to continue to grow, we hope, right? We hope. And, but it will. And they'll feel like Michael Dell someday. But at 18, they'll have a lot of money, a lot more money than they would have had, and potentially a lot of money. But these accounts will track the overall stock market and will be 100% private property controlled by the child's guardians. In honor of America's 250th anniversary, the Dells are announcing today that they are giving 25 million American children $250 each to save and to invest in their personal Trump account. Now, that's the equivalent of $6.8 $25 billion. In other words, to put it succinctly, Michael and Susan are giving $6.25 billion in total, and as a total contribution. That's big stuff. I don't care who you are. That's big. Come here, give me a hand. Let me have a little of that luck rub off.
Give him a
That's
kiss.
fantastic, Susan.
Give him a kiss.
These gifts will be available to the first 25 million children aged 10 and under the zip codes where their median income is $150,000 or less. So they're giving them to children that won't be born particularly rich, and they're going to be hopefully very rich someday. This will give millions of dollars, millions of children, middle-class families a stake in American prosperity, a benefit from the rising stock market, and a better shot at the American dream. It really gives them a shot at the American dream. Michael and Susan, I want to thank you for this extraordinary act of kindness and patriotism and charity. This is truly one of the most generous acts in the history of our country. I mean, you don't hear about things like that, and we got to let people know he doesn't want and she doesn't care about that, but I do. I think when somebody does that, you got to let them know about it. As I mentioned, this gift is being made possible by the largest tax cuts in American history, which our Republican majorities passed earlier this year, and the Speaker worked so hard, and John Thune and Jason and all of them, every one of them. Ted Cruz is with us. He worked so hard getting that done. That was the biggest, most consequential bill they say ever passed. And you know, if they remember, Michael, they thought we had to put that in 12 to 14 bills. I said, I don't know if we can hold it that long with the Democrats. And we said, let's try doing it once. So we did, and people were surprised, but we got it done. So I congratulate you guys. Amazing job. Under that bill, the federal government will also automatically be making a one-time seed contribution of $1,000 into the tax-deferred Trump accounts for every newborn U.S. citizen, fulfilling a promise I made in the 2024 campaign. Trump accounts should grow to be worth many thousands of dollars by the time the child is 18, and even more by the time they are 20 or even 30 years old. We think it's going to be something really unique and really special. We hope many others will follow Michael and Susan's example and make their own contributions. I'll be doing it too, to the next generation, including businesses, churches, philanthropists, family members, and parents themselves. I think we're going to have a lot of people, Susan. I think a lot of people are going to be contribute. A lot of people are watching us right now. They might not be $6 billion plus, but there'll be a lot. There aren't too many people that are in the 6 billion range, but there'll be a lot. A lot of friends of mine have already told me they're going to contribute a lot of money, and a lot of them are going to leave a lot of money in their wills, so that's very important. And as you watch us today,
is this like the Clinton Foundation? Clinton Foundation?
Be a great benefit for employers to offer their workers, which they'll be able to do tax-free. It's tax-free. We expect hundreds of major companies to announce plans to contribute to these accounts in the coming months, and we've had tremendous interest in that regard. So the Trump accounts will be available starting on July 4th of next year. And Michael and Susan, to you again, it's an amazing act of just incredible everything. I mean, the life you've led to be able to do this, even to be able to, a lot of people have a good heart, but they can't give $6.25 billion. And Michael, probably knowing you, it's not the last of it either. It's not the last. But on behalf of the United States of America, I want to thank you both, and I want to thank all three. But I want to thank you both because you've been friends of mine, and it's a spectacular couple. This is really an amazing people. These are unique. And I'd like to have you come up and say a couple of words and tell us what you have in mind, because what you have in mind is good. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor to be with you here in the White House. And, you know, when you passed the Invest America Act on July 4th of this year, we were really inspired to see that happen. And this is something that Brad had first mentioned to us in 2021. We thought it was a great idea then, and it's amazing that it happened. And we also saw that this act would become a platform. And we believe the smartest investment that we can make is an investment in children. And this act has created a platform for families and friends and communities and companies and philanthropists to contribute to these accounts to create a savings and opportunity and hope and prosperity for tens of millions of children in this country. And Susan and I are super excited to announce our $6.25 billion gift to 25 million American children, 10 and under, and our gift will cover most of the children that are 10 and under that are not part of the federal program, the 0 to 2-year-olds, and who also live in zip codes where the median income is $150,000 or less. And I have spoken with a number of other wealthy Americans, philanthropists, and we are confident that others will join us because we all understand the incredible impact that a gift like this can have on the lives of young Americans. So again, it's a great honor for us to be here to be able to announce this. When I was 8 years old, I got a passbook savings account and I had, I think about $8 in it. And you go to the savings and loan and you give them a quarter and they'd stamp your account. And I got to see the power of compound interest early in my life. And that has brought me here to this moment. And hopefully will inspire that kind of opportunity for many more young people in this country. So again, thank you for the privilege of being here.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Susan. So beautiful. Thank you very much. Susan, would you like to say something?
I'd just like to say how excited we are to be a part of this. We believe that when children have a future that they can see is worth saving for, then that will help build hope and opportunity and prosperity for generations to come. So we're so excited to be doing this and hope to have many people join in our efforts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan. So beautiful. Brad,
Well, first, it's an incredible honor to be here, and we wouldn't be here without the passage of the Invest America Act, and everybody up here today played a role in getting that done. The Speaker, Ted Cruz, in drafting the legislation so that when the President placed the call to the Speaker and said, let's make this happen in the big, beautiful bill, Congress was ready to act. They had the legislation drafted. But I couldn't be more grateful for the friendship and the partnership of the Dells that really show the best of America. Today is Giving Tuesday, right? And the fact of the matter is, for decades, we've talked about the wealth gap. We've talked about too many people left out and left behind. This president was elected on a Main Street agenda to get the rest of America into the game. And that's exactly what this does. It gets every American child, 3.7 million children born every year, will now start life off with an investment account, seeded with $1,000. And then you're going to have great philanthropists, great Americans like Michael and Susan, who are going to add money to those accounts. We're overwhelmed with the number of companies that want to contribute to these accounts. Already companies from Uber to NVIDIA, T-Mobile to Charter Communications, Dell, et cetera, the list goes on. And every day more companies are calling us, raising their hands and saying, we want to be part of this. It's like a 401k from birth. It's a benefit for the kids of our employees, right? Major philanthropists. But I think what this is going to unlock is the power of families. Moms and dads Venmoing and Apple Paying and $5, $10, right? And getting these kids into the game. When we had the roundtable at the White House earlier this year, Dara Khosrowshahi, the CEO of Uber, said, after fleeing Iran at the age of 9 with nothing, he came to America because it was the land of hope. And he said what the Invest America Act does is it bottles up hope for every child in America. Whether you're in rural Mississippi or rural Indiana, where I came from.
Like, what are we watching? What is going on? The country is about to go to war, and what are we doing?
Alone, I think, reinvigorates the American dream. It reinvigorates the idea of free market capitalism. Too many people are losing faith in you, sir. By passing the Invest America Act and getting all these kids into the game, this is a transformational act in this country forevermore. Every child starts off life in the game with a piece of the American dream compounding in the upside of America. So thank you for having us here.
I think the secretary first. I defer to the brains.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I think this is a major change in philanthropy and for...
Is this like the announcement? Is this the announcement? Like, everybody's expecting him to say something about Venezuela, and it's like, oh, no, Venezuela doesn't exist? There's nothing going on there anymore? What happened? Did we just waste all those taxpayer dollars by sending our whole armada down there? What's going to happen? I thought we gave him an ultimatum. That's not, no talk on Venezuela? What the heck's going on? Like, this is like crazy. Absolutely crazy. The children, but it's the children.
Stake in the success of the United States of America. So every day when the stock market goes up or down, and we believe over the 18 years it will go up, and families will learn the power of compounding, that it will be a game changer. People who have a stake in the system and become more and more vested in the system, they do not want to bring down the system. They want to make it better. So I think we will look back on today and know that these Trump accounts, they have started a new age of the capitalism and market interest for the whole country. I also think that it is a game changer, as we're seeing with Michael and Susan Bell today, that Americans are the most generous people in the history of the world, and the Trump accounts will provide a vehicle for philanthropists such as Michael and Susan and many more to contribute. And at Treasury, we are working, so Michael and Susan want to do it for children born in the past 10 years, a certain income level. As Brad said, it can be tailored, it can be to employees. It could be a philanthropist could adopt a state, they can adopt a school, they can adopt a zip code, they can adopt a street. And so we will constantly see these accounts be topped up. For those of you on the Treasury, we'll be running this on the operational side. For those of you who would like to, you can go to trumpaccounts.gov today and see the homepage that has a basic outline. These will become operational on July 5th of this year. And we will have families start signing up for them. So, and that homepage will answer all the questions on eligibility and investments. And then finally, today we're here on Giving Tuesday. Michael and Susan have led the way, but I think that there's a chance that every Tuesday can become Giving Tuesday as more and more philanthropists.
How about Big Mac Monday?
Of giving to American families, giving to American children, and giving everyone a stake in our great economy. So, thank you very much.
We just want Big Macs. Big Mac Monday, please.
I'll be brief. There's a lot of symbolism here today. Right here on the eve of the 250th anniversary of the greatest nation in the history of the world. We are the greatest nation by any objective measure. We're the most free, most powerful, most successful, and most benevolent nation that's ever been. And I think what you're seeing here is another exhibit of that. This idea, this vision came about because Brad and a couple of smart guys came up with this idea and then took a few years to sell the idea to everybody. And then these visionary legislators over here, Senator Ted Cruz and Blake Moore in the House and Jason Smith, the Ways and Means Chair, really caught the vision. And we put it into the big, beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cut. We've been saying all along that was drafted to really help lower and middle class earners in America. And this is one of the great features. One of the perils of having the big, beautiful bill and having it all in there together, the president and I have talked about many times, is that there's so many great things in that legislation, we don't have enough time to talk about all of it. So we need a moment to really focus on this. Giving Tuesday is a perfect time to do it. And it's absolutely perfect, I think, that July 5th becomes the operational date right after the nation's birthday. So what we're going to see here is a model that I don't think anyone has done anywhere in the world. They wouldn't have the capability to do it. They wouldn't have philanthropists and great Americans with big hearts like this who've earned their way and really fulfilled the American dream. And they have a vision and a desire for more and more people to do that. And so now more and more Americans will. It kind of evens the playing field in a way, right? And everybody has an opportunity. So we're just excited to be a part of it, grateful to the vision, grateful to a president who leads from the front, who understands the potential of something like this. And this will be one of the many marquee achievements of the Trump administration. This will be one that people remember for a long, long time. And I think it can change the country. So thanks, Mr. President. Thanks, Brad, all of you for being a part. Thank you to the Dells. Really amazing. Thank you. Sure.
Thank you.
Ted, please.
Well, I want to congratulate all the men and women up here. And, Mr. President, I think objectively on the merits, the case can be made that there has never been a president who's had a greater positive impact on the children of America than you have. And in particular, in this one big, beautiful bill, I think the two most long-lasting and far-reaching provisions are, number one, the school choice provision that you signed into law that is going to unleash tens of billions of dollars to scholarships to low-income kids all over the country and is going to change the lives of millions of kids. And the second provision is this provision right here, the Trump accounts. These Trump accounts, starting on July 4th, every child in America will have a personal investment account opened for them. Newborn children will have it seeded with $1,000. Parents and family and employers can contribute up to $5,000 a year in a tax-advantaged account. That money will be invested in the S&P 500 in the stock market, broad-based equity index account. Two massive benefits that change this country. Number one, every child in America will experience the benefits of compound growth. Take a little girl born next year. She's born next year. She has the account opened for her. $1,000 is automatically seeded. Her parents, her family, or an employer puts $5,000 a year each year into that account. If you assume the historic rate of growth of the S&P 500, which is 7% a year, by the time that little girl is 18, she will have $170,000 in that account. And if she keeps saving, by the time that little girl is 35, she will have $700,000 in that account. That is game-changing, and we're not talking the children of Michael and Susan Dell, the children of Donald Trump, the children of people of great success. We're talking the kids of a single mom waiting tables who could have $700,000 saved by the time she's 35 to get an education, to start a business, to buy a house. That changes their whole lives. But the second benefit, and what I'm really excited about, is we are creating a new generation of capitalists. Every child in America is going to be an owner of the biggest employers in this country. We've all seen the sad statistics of how many kids are losing faith in capitalism. Well, 10 years from now, a little boy is going to pull out his phone and he's going to look at his app and he's going to see his Trump account. And instead of thinking of big, bad, scary corporations, that little boy is going to say, I own $50 of Apple. I own $100 of Dell. I own $75 of McDonald's. And every child is an owner of the biggest employers in this country.
There it is,
that
McDonald's.
will transform this country. Mr. President, thank you for signing it. Let me say, Brad, this would not be a law if Brad Gerstner did not pursue it with absolute dogged determination, relentless. I've gotten calls and texts from Brad at 6 a.m. and at 2 a.m. You may sleep less than the president, Brad, and that is a remarkable thing because I don't think he sleeps at all. And finally, I'll just say to Michael and Susan, incredible text, $6.25 billion is extraordinarily generous. Let me say, on behalf of 25 million kids who just got a gift from Michael and Susan, and it's not a gift of a video game. It's not a gift of a bicycle. It's an investment in their future. That changes their lives, and I hope and believe Michael and Susan are going to inspire millions across the country to do the same thing. When Congress passed Section 401k of the ERISA, I don't know that anyone realized how much it would change retirement plans. There's now trillions of dollars in 401k plans. They're going to be trillions of dollars in these. These are 401ks for kids. And Mr. President, these Trump accounts exist because you signed them. Thank you for your leadership. It's an honor to work with you.
Joseph, if you would just say a couple of words, and Brett, come on up for a second.
Perfect. Thank you. First, I would just want to thank Michael and Susan for the kind gift. What you all have done will be transformational for 25 million kids. And a lot of people we can thank for the provisions in this big, beautiful bill, but there is no one to thank greater than President Donald Trump. And I'll tell you this, out of every executive I've ever worked with, there's no one that's been more engaging, no one that has been more involved. And the only reason why these investment accounts are in the big, beautiful bill is because he helped convince other members of Congress that this is a good idea. This has been something that has been discussed for a long time, but no one could ever get it passed. But who helped get it passed was Donald Trump. I can tell you that from day one throughout the process. And so that's going to affect millions of kids in their futures.
Thank you. I was not planning or prepared to speak today, but the gravity of the situation is not lost on me. I have 4 boys of my own, 13 and under, and on the heels of a $6 billion announcement, I hope that doesn't go without some major headlines, that I will be making an announcement of my own that I will be contributing $60 to each one of my children's accounts today. Actually, to try to bring some levity to that, every parent, every grandpa and grandma can now look and say, I can get my grandkid this little toy or something, and maybe that's going to continue to happen. But there is a new option and another way for them to be able to invest and have a lasting legacy. And as a dad of 4 kids, seeing kids in our neighborhood, them to have that opportunity is something that not every day in Congress, as I've joked with my colleagues, is the most productive day in my career. But to be able to be a part of something like this is, it makes everything worthwhile. I'm away from my kids a ton in this job, and being able to be a part of something like this, a small part that I played, is something that is transformational, and I'll be able to look back on this and be so grateful for this opportunity that I've had to be able to serve in Congress. Thank you so much. I appreciate the chance to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would anybody have a question?
No crazy going on,
First question. Mr. President, is there an educational value to this in terms of not just the money in the account? What can kids learn in this account?
Well, I think they can learn a little bit about the free enterprise system, they can really learn a lot about how life works, how business works. They want to go out and make a living for themselves, because maybe it's going to be a lot more than we think, or maybe it's not going to be quite as much as we think, depending on what happens with the world and the market. We'll try and do very well in that regard too, but there's a lot of learning to be done, and I think this is a big step forward.
And your reaction, did either of you say, you're donating how much?
Yeah, we already said it. It's $6.25 billion.
No, I mean, with the reaction between the two of you, someone came up with the idea.
Oh, sure. Oh, well, so we kind of started with a smaller amount, to be honest. And we started talking about Texas only at the beginning.
And adopting the state of Texas.
Right. And then we thought about it some more, and we thought
Got
about...
pretty excited about the idea.
Yep, and we went back and forth, and as we do on these things, and we
Got
ended
more
up...
and more excited, and next thing you know...
This is where we ended up. So, but
The number
a
kept
lot
climbing.
of discussion and consideration over a long period of time.
Yeah.
to
I mean,
to
we
come to this.
believe
And we
this
feel
is
great about it.
the greatest investment that we could possibly make is in children, and we've been investing in children for over 26 years with our foundation.
Yeah, and you know, there are 30 states already that require at least one semester of financial literacy, and hopefully all 50 states will do that. And, you know, as children begin to understand that they have these accounts, that creates a real need for our schools, our parents, our community organizations to really begin to grow financial literacy in the country, which can only be a good thing.
It's really an amazing moment that two people would do that kind of a contribution. I mean, it's just an amazing moment. And it shows you there's a tremendous heart in great entrepreneurs. He's a great entrepreneur. They're both great entrepreneurs because he probably wouldn't have done it without you, to be honest. That's the way it often works. And I know this relationship so well. There could be a lot of truth to that. But it shows you that there's a big heart in some pretty tough people. He's a tough cookie, but he's got a very, very warm spot. And what you've done, I don't think it's going to be talked about for a long time. It won't be forgotten. Thank you, sir.
May I ask a question? Thank you, sir. My question is about the logistics or the administration of the program. You obviously want to help poorer children. How will you help families perhaps who don't have access to computers or internet at home to make this?
See, and they got all these journalists out there that they handpick, and they're not going to ask questions about what's really going on in the world. Like the world is about to blow up, and we're sitting here talking about this. Like, seriously? Like what?
And we should just say that Luke Pettit, the Assistant Treasury Secretary, has just done an extraordinary job with the Secretary in what I think will be the biggest consumer launch in the history of government. 60 million accounts are going to get created next year. And these accounts are going to be, promulgated. All parents are going to have to do.
Well, in real news here, I heard this is all coming out right now that the Trump administration spent $1 million redacting over a period of time all the things out of the Epstein files that they didn't want the public to see. So you're really not getting the Epstein files. You're getting a redacted version that was sanitized so that, certain things wouldn't be seen. So you're getting you're getting the smoke and mirror version of what's really happening. Now, what's really going on in Venezuela? I think that the Russians and the Chinese and Maduro, they're all laughing they're laughing at us right now because this looks so stupid. Like, are we going to do anything? We just threw down a gauntlet yesterday. Trump threw down the gauntlet and gave them an ultimatum. And what's going on? Is there anything going on? Do we even know what's happening? Is this like a show? What is going on? Like, everybody wants to know what's going on with Venezuela. People were trying to ask questions at the previous cabinet meeting about Venezuela, and they didn't even take those questions. They didn't even answer the questions on Venezuela. Like, as he was leaving, he was like, "I'm done," and they're like, "Venezuela," and he's like, "We're late. We got to get to our other meeting. Our other meeting is just important here. We got to talk about the children. Don't forget the children."
Security for the children, sir. Do you believe that these accounts will be a big part of your legacy when everything goes down? We've heard talks about your legacy as a peacemaker, but this is a really, really big deal.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do think so, and I think it's a big part of everybody up here today. This was a group that was very instrumental, and in particular, obviously, Michael and Susan, it's a big part of their legacy. They've got a big legacy anyway, but this is maybe going to be as important or more important than anything they've done thus far. It's, looking back in 100 years from now, I think you're going to see some things that they'll be talking about this very day. So thank you for that question. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. These accounts were originally discussed as a way to incentivize people to have more children. Are there any other policy proposals you're looking at like this to encourage the birth rate to increase?
Well, we are looking at programs. We're looking at, there's a certain Australian plan that people are liking and they're talking about. You know what I mean? There's a plan where, not for children necessarily, but it's for people, working people. And we are looking at other things different from this. I think this is very unique, but different from this, but very important. Yeah.
You mean the Australian retirement savings program?
Say it.
You mean the Australian Retirement
That's
Savings
what they're
Program?
talking about. Yep, we're looking at it very seriously. It's a good plan. It's worked out very well. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, can you talk about what tax benefits these accounts come with? The information sheet that we just received said that when a child turns 18, they'll be treated like traditional IRAs and subject to a 10% withdrawal tax.
Please,
Can you speak to when her
Australian plan that
they will access these funds?
They can access them when they're 18, or they can convert them to an IRA at that time. During the 18 years, parents or employers can donate with the tax deduction up to $5,000 into each account, and then philanthropists, like Michael and Susan, can add an unlimited amount to the accounts. So $5,000 from employees or families, and then gifts from foundations and philanthropists can be an unlimited amount.
Mr. President, you said that you have been talking to your wealthy friends, as well as you, Mr. Dell, about contributing. Can you walk us through maybe who you've been talking to and how much more we can expect on top of
I think the people you probably would think I would be talking to. There's a group of people out there that have been very successful, and we've already started talking to them. You know, we're doing ballrooms, we're doing arcs, we have a thing that's being planned that's going to be a great tribute to the country, as you know. You probably heard about it. The arc that we're looking at by the bridge.
The only reason I'm keeping this going is because I'm hoping somebody will ask him about Venezuela. I can't believe that we're sitting here enduring this like right now. Like I'm surprised. Like everybody thought this was going to be about Venezuela. Like seriously.
We meet, well, I think hopefully we'll meet before then, but we're going to have a big event over in the ballroom to celebrate this. We're building a ballroom that they've wanted at this beautiful White House for 150 years. They've wanted it so badly. Right now we can hold 109 people if you're lucky in a room. It's a beautiful room, but it's 109 people, and we're building something. You see the trucks in the back. You see the clanging, the banging, and when it's completed, it'll be one of the greatest ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's going to be amazing. So people that were involved in that process, I have a lot of friends with a lot of success, and every one of them, I would be shocked if anyone turns us down. We're going to have a lot of big contributors, Jeff.
On a separate topic, if I may, sir, you had a call with Brazil's President Lula today. Can you tell us what you
There you go.
Yeah, we had a great talk. We talked about trade. We talked about sanctions, because, as you know, I sanctioned them, having to do with certain things that took place. But we had a very good talk. I like him. Very good. We had some good meetings, as you know, but we had a very good talk today. Yes, I did.
You also pardoned the former president of Honduras, and he was released from prison
I
yesterday.
did. Well, he was the president, and they had some drugs being sold in their country, and because he was the president, they went after him. That was a Biden horrible witch hunt, which was, a lot of people in Honduras asked me to do that, and I did it. I feel very good about it. If you have some drug dealers in your country and you're the president, you don't necessarily put the president in jail for 45 years. That was a Biden-inspired witch hunt.
Did his letter impact your decision on that, sir, from Mr. Stone?
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Your recent decisions to Syria renewed many hopes for the Syrian people. And now the minorities in Syria, like Kurds, Christians, and Jews, they want help. U.S. help them to have some sort of autonomy and their rights being protected in Syria. How do you
We're going to give them help, and I think Syria's come a long way. The new leader of Syria was here, as you know, 3 weeks ago, and he was really into making that country, bringing the country around. Not an easy job.
He's a tough guy.
Not an easy job.
He's a tough guy.
It's centuries
Former
of
ISIS.
problems. But I think he's going to do a good job. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in him. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, Mr. President.
In the broader context of the economy with these childhood investments, we just saw the biggest Black Friday in history, up 4.1% from last year, $26 billion. Hasn't told me about that. We also saw that they're going to spend $1 trillion on Christmas this year, $1 trillion. Increasing 4.1%. 25 states, gas is below $3, a handful below $2.50 and getting better. Energy policy matters. The economy matters.
I like this guy.
And timing matters.
Who are you with?
Real America's Voice.
That's what I heard. That's what
But timing matters.
Yeah, you know what's really weird is that the ballroom that he's building, it looks just like the temple blueprints for the temple Isn't that crazy? I'm telling you, that is very bizarre.
Over almost $20 trillion of investment coming in. I don't even know if you know that. 20.
Yeah, Al-Jolani is our friend, and he's a former ISIS leader as well as Al-Qaeda leader, and he was invited into the White House.
We're up to 18, I guess right now, Scott, about 18 trillion in 10.
But hey, they gave Laura Loomer a little spot inside of the Pentagon right now, a little room for her journalist activity. So I don't know if that's Laura Loomer, and that she was all upset about it, but I guess they appeased her by giving her a little media center there.
But we have now under construction. I guarantee you're expanding a lot of your different places, right, for Dell. But we have places like that. We have car companies. We have AI coming in at levels. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's amazing. And
nobody's ever seen anything like that. That's all I ever hear Trump say. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Nobody's ever seen anything. Nobody's ever seen anything. It's amazing. It's historic. It's the biggest thing ever. Nobody, never seen anything like it before.
He said 1 year ago, your country was dead.
Sham
and now
wow.
you've got the hottest country anywhere in the world, and that's what we have. And it's one of the reasons Michael's able to do this. It's one of the reasons I'm able to.
It picks up coke right out of the floorboards. It just sucks it right out of the wood. You know, just all you got to do is just stick it on there, and it just sucks it right out. It's just amazing. It's never been. This is an amazing product. You got to get it.
Is the most impressive. 2,750 compared to 550. That's some difference. And we just had a tremendous election and a tremendous vote of confidence. And thank you very much for that question. Thank you.
On immigration, sir. Will you make a deal with Democrats?
Thank you, press.
Mr. President.
Thank you, press.
Will you make a deal with Democrats on ACA subsidies?
Thank you.
You see how they got fake? Listen to this. They got the fake journalists out there. They're not asking anything about Venezuela. They're asking about some other stupid things, and there's only a few of them. And they kind of let them it kind of sound like there's real journalists out here. We gotta have them yelling as I'm leaving out the door. But we only got like 3 or 4 of them that can yell, and they're not even saying anything about Venezuela. Nothing. Absolutely crazy. And the media is completely controlled now. And they only have hand-picked people that they've got in there, whether it's the White House or even the Pentagon press now. They've only got hand-picked people that are going to be like, yes, man, whatever you say, sir, whatever you say. We can't say anything wrong because we don't want to lose our press pass. You've already gotten rid of all the other press. We'll do whatever you say. But this is really bad situation, guys. It doesn't look good. Somebody said that they knew that they weren't going to talk about Venezuela, but everybody was saying they were going to say something about Venezuela. Very strange, very strange. Oh, well, I guess we're not going to find out until something happens or something doesn't happen. I mean, something may not even happen. What is this guy saying? Let me see.
I'm going to go over this program for you.
So let me just see what they're saying here. Hold on. Oh my gosh. You got all these yes men accounts now just talking about this. Don't you think, with this NOTAM alert, everybody's expecting an invasion, imminent, it's all about to happen. Gauntlets thrown down yesterday, day before, ultimatum to Maduro, it's all going to hit the fan, and then what? Nothing? Okay, so if this nothing continues, you know how much money it takes to send down an armada of troops into an area that is getting ready to be invaded, supposedly? I mean, they literally have amassed an armada of military assets off the coast of Venezuela, and it's just sitting there. They're just sitting there waiting for something. I don't know. What are they waiting for? I mean, like I said, maybe this is smoke and mirrors. Maybe this is Trump's way of trying to get everybody all like not just us as the public, but maybe other countries, and they're getting ready to do something really. And it could be anywhere in the world. It could be Iran. It could be it could be something going on in China right there with Taiwan. Who knows? There could be something really big that's going to go down any moment. This is what I'm expecting. I know that something big is about to hit the fan because this is just this is absolutely crazy. You want to put the dancing Maduro. I know. One thing I want to say about Maduro is he knows how to expose and to just show the whole world he's not afraid. This was great marketing. I mean, gosh, the way Maduro did that. I mean, it is absolutely just great. I just have to say. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Tell me he doesn't know what he's doing. No crazy war. No crazy war. No crazy war. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Please. Just peace. Just peace. Peace to the bear. Peace to the bear. Sweet boss.
Look at that. He even knows how to dance. Unlike Trump. Look at Trump. Look at Trump. Tell me this. Now, that to me looks a little bit femme. Especially this one here. Femme. Look at that. Okay. But like I said, this to me, like, look at this. That just looks like... What is that? What is that? He even got some hip action in there. Like do. Ooh, look at me. Like, it's just so weird. I don't know. It's just me. I know. Little things like that. And then I was sitting here thinking about, as I'm sitting here watching this, I'm sitting here thinking, then you got, what's his name? Let me see if I can pull it up here. Ted Cruz. Did you see that one? Did you ever see this one? Like this one in here. Look at this one. Remember this during the campaign? This was great. Look at Ted Cruz here.
Kitchen right now.
Wait, he's here?
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean? Yeah, whatever. At least I know she's mine. I don't want to ask who the baby daddy. I know it's him.
Did you ever see this? This was during the 2016 election, and I just tell you, this channel that does it bad lip sync, or it's this bad lip reading. They basically take a video and they add their own lyrics in there, and it's just so funny. I mean, it's like, hey, look at this.
For the glotch. For the glotch.
Don't make us kiss now.
Anyways, I always thought that was so funny because, they kind of captured Ted Cruz's kind of mindset and they kind of accentuated it and exaggerated it. It's like, it was so funny. But some of it, it's a little bit out there. But anyways, I think that's about it. I think we're not going to see anything right at the moment. I was really hoping we'd have an update. Really. I mean, what about the update? It looks like there's this is a live shot here of the White House, but looks like there's a bunch of people gathering right there. Is that normally what happens? I guess people just hang out at the gate and look at the White House. Just hoping to see something, I guess. I thought that they had all that roped off and they had new barriers up and stuff. I guess they don't, huh? Is that gone? Oh, the barriers, I guess, are down there. They let people in. Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, I'm sitting here looking at some of the comments on some of these other channels. And let's see what it says here, what some of the people are saying there. Yeah, people are... Someone says the TDS is insane at this point. That would be the Trump derangement syndrome. No, it's just that people don't want to see the death of their environment and their expectations of what they expect, what they hoped would be a new America. That's what's happening. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the poster child of, is that how you say it, of Trumpism. I mean, she's like the icon. When you think of, Make America Great Again, people that you would say would be the representation of that in the Congress, it would have been Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, when you have people like that turning on Trump, well, that's pretty big. And you know how many people follow Marjorie Taylor Greene? I mean, they think she's great. And there's a lot of disillusioned people in MAGA land, lots. And I suspect that there's going to be a lot more disillusioned people here in the near future as they continue to see their dreams, their hopes, and everything else that he promises continue to just fade away, turn to ash, because that's what's happening right now. And if you don't see that happening right now, and you still want to believe the hopium, you still want to believe the trust the plan, and it's only it's just a little bit ways down. This is all this that's going on right now. This is all Biden's fault. This is all Biden's fault. This is all what they did in the last 4 years. Well, it's not his fault. What I see is this is plausible deniability. Trump bowed out. I looked at everything. If he truly did have this election stolen, which I believe they did, and they portrayed it that way, then Trump as president should have went in and forensically analyzed every single bit of, and he had the power to do it as president, but he didn't. Everybody was against him. Everybody stabbed him in the back. He was all by himself. He didn't understand what was going on. Well, then he didn't deserve to be president, right? And how did he even get there in the first place? Well, this was all for the process of getting us to this point where we would just so arc off of each other, or the left and the right paradigm would arc off of itself, so they can control the masses. This is how they control the masses. They have everybody fighting with each other on both sides. And obviously there's corruption in the Democrat Party. I'm not a Democrat. People think, are you a Democrat? Do you like Kamala Harris? Did you want her to win? No, not at all. But Trump represents the white hats, right? And what's a white hat? Well, it's just a white magician. It's kind of like, are you a good witch or are you a bad witch? Like at a Wizard of Oz. Is there such a thing as a good witch? You got white magic and black magic. You got white hat and a black hat. You got the fruit on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Do you pick the good fruit and not eat the bad fruit? I mean, really, what is it? Is the bad fruit good fruit? What do you want to, which one is it? They're both bad. You don't eat the knowledge of the tree of the good. You don't pick any of the fruit. I don't care if it's a white hat or if it's good fruit looking good fruit. I don't care if it's the angel of light. It's still a demon. The Bible says they come masquerade as angels of light. So you want to support an angel of light? Well, at least he doesn't look evil. At least he doesn't represent evil. He's representing all the good things, right? Just like the Pharisees did. They were very upstanding and moral, and they moralized, and they told you all the good things that needed to happen in society, but they still militated against the truth. They still wanted to kill the Lord of glory. They still didn't receive their promised Messiah. They didn't understand their own Bible. They didn't understand their own doctrines and the scriptures, the prophets. They didn't listen. And I would say that represents what is true. That is what represents the truth. Okay, so you could say the same thing for today. We are not understanding what the essence of truth is. And it's not about a kingdom. It's not about a political party. It's not about, a philosophy of government, whether you're a capitalist or a communist or a socialist or anything else. It's about what's going on within your heart. Do you understand what ultimate truth is? Or a libertarian? You can still influence people and what their decision making, what they're doing if they're in places of power, and if they would represent correctly what is true. But many times power, have you ever heard that saying, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely? That's what happens. And even in the religious world, the same thing happens within the religious world too. People get places of authority and power and influence, and they get corrupt. And it all has to do with the love of money. Because when they say, oh, I got influence, well, that means I got money. Well, I got power now. Well, then you get compromised and you get seduced and you get all kinds of, people wanting that money. They're going to do things to you to try to get that money and that influence that you have. But as long as you stay true to what's your principles of what you know is true, and it would be your, the principles of God, ultimately we give him all glory. We give him all praise. We give him the reasons for why we even live, our whole being. In him we live, move, and have our being. As he is, so are we in this world. If you want to be followers of Christ, then you're going to have some of the same experiences. He said they're going to do the same thing to you that they did to me. If you truly live after the kingdom, you can expect this world is going to reject you. So you want to preach that message? You want to talk about the real kingdom or politics? This is the politics of God. He doesn't play games. Okay, his kingdom. He doesn't have any adversaries. He doesn't have any. The devil's not the adversary of God. Okay, the devil is the creation, part of the creation. Okay, so God doesn't have any rivals, and he doesn't have any other alternative kingdoms that are going to be warring against him, except for what happens amongst humans and amongst our own environment as we, the reason all this is going on is it's a test. You're going through your testing period here so that you can be proven whether or not you're going to be worthy of that eternal kingdom. You want to be worthy of the eternal kingdom? Well, you better make a good show right now, because this is a test. God's analyzing how you're going to act. Are you going to sell out? You're going to compromise? You're going to sell your soul to the devil, or are you going to give your whole heart and life to God? Right? Just like you're going to have to serve somebody. Just like what's his name said, you're going to have to serve somebody. That song. Who sang that? Bob Dylan. You're going to have to serve somebody. So you better make sure that you serve the right God. There's a lot of gods out there. There's a lot of people that are idolizing and worshiping all kinds of things. They worship their car, they worship their house, they worship their wife, they worship their kids, they worship their politicians, they worship celebrities, they worship their religious leaders, they worship themselves. They think they're the best in the whole world. There's nobody like me. I'm the best. I'm second only to Jesus. I'm going to bring eternal peace to the world. I'm going to stop the end of the world from happening. Not going to ever happen. Prophet said it would happen, but I'm going to stop it because I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. There's never anybody really like me. I'm the best. Even better than the Beatles. So this is kind of where we're at. We want to make sure that we're holding what is true, right? You want to hold to what is true? Looking at some of your guys' comments. Your whole life is a psyop. Yeah, really. The Q coats, the Q-tards, or what they call the Q crumbs. You want some Q crumbs? Get some Q crumbs. Got to get those Q crumbs so we understand what's going on. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to get some truth out there once again. Jackie says, your son had a dream that the world was destroyed and he had to help get things working again help. It's been like 8 years ago. Wow, that's crazy, Jackie. We could see our civilization as an empire that we are. The dollar fail. I mean, there's a real possibility with what's going on in the world right now. We're literally seeing the ramp up to World War III, and everything's getting put in place, and I think they're just trying to keep everybody calm and trusting the plan, and I think it's all for show. It just seems like the Truman Show. This is like Truman. This is like the Truman Show. I mean, did you ever see the Truman Show? This is what it is. It's like a simulation. I mean, like, this is like total simulation. Like, it looks so fake, like, you remember the scene where Truman was talking to his wife and she's like, and then she'd all of a sudden put up a product like, and then this is like a beautiful product that you just ever, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, oh, Nothing, honey. Nothing, honey. It's like sham wow. Look at this. This is a stay connected hard drive. Isn't it amazing, honey? And all the while you got like the cameras like picking up and monetizing everything, and like how can we get rich? We're trying to get rich here, like this is a global economy. Trump said, okay, wait, what happened? Okay, so here's some information on the previous meeting that Trump just had before he did this. The cabinet meeting. Trump said that that income tax will not exist for most people in the not so distant future, quote unquote, not so distant future. Here is the part that Trump is not telling us. Instead of income tax, Congress is working on implementing a 30% federal consumption tax on all goods and services on top of tariffs. You know that the tariffs are a tax too. All it is a shell game, dude. That's all they're doing. They're just moving the little P in there. Where is the P? Where's the P? It's somewhere in here. Where is it? Where did it? And then it's going to be worse than what it was. I'm going to tell you what, it will be worse than what it was. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You will be herded into your smart cities with your UBIs, and you'll be given a little computer you can hook your brain up to so you can be in simulated reality, and you'll feel fine. Just put on your virtual reality goggles and have your virtual reality relationships and whatever else, and you'll be just fine. 15-minute cities, or as Trump calls them, freedom cities. Freedom cities. We're going to build 10 freedom cities, a massive freedom cities. It's going to be a beautiful time. Everybody's going to be loving that freedom when they get into these cities. Just like it back in Germany, they said, work to become free. All you got to do is go into these freedom cities and everything will be just great. Don't get me wrong. It's great to finally get rid of fundamentally unconstitutional tax. And that sounds great until you realize that life for most people is going to be completely unaffordable with a 30% consumption tax. I would be all for a consumption tax of maybe like 12% or maybe 14% max as a replacement, but that is reasonable. But 30% is totally nuts. 30% on top of the tariffs. And people don't realize that they're being charged for the tariffs. A lot of that tariff income is coming right from you. That's a tax. That's a tax. Hello? Oh, and that's not including any separate state sales tax that may be applied separately. For example, 30% tax, a $50,000 car will cost Americans an additional $15,000 in taxes alone. That's not even including the already inflated prices because of existing tariffs. If you buy a foreign car, a $500,000 home would cost an additional $150,000. An average grocery bill of $350 will be an additional $105. If you want a $15 quick bite to eat at your favorite fast food place like McDonald's, that will be an additional $5 added to the bill. I could go on and on, but these are just some basic examples. There is absolutely nothing America first about making everyday products and food absolutely unaffordable for people who already can't afford to live as it is. It feels like this directive is coming directly from the globalist robber barons at the UN, WEF, and BlackRock. And by the way, Trump is going to the WEF to hang out with them, WEFers. That would be the World Economic Forum. I know it sounded like a bad name, but no, we call them the WEFers. The World Economic Forum. He's buddies with those people over there. Did you not know that? I thought you said he wasn't a globalist. Oh, yeah, he is. He's a globalist, all right. And he's worse than a globalist. He's actually one that's directing a lot of this. People don't realize that yet, but they'll figure that one out. It feels like this is directly. Okay, so this is part of the full-scale, controlled destruction of our financial system, and I completely agree. To force us all into the all digital dollar and universal basic income, or UBI, for those who don't know what that is. It's kind of like I was going to say a UTI. It's kind of like an infection. Universal basic income, or UBI. Essentially, the idea is to create even more of a segregated society of haves and have-nots. Only the uber wealthy will survive and thrive, and the rest will struggle and be forced to live in squalor on UBI. So yeah, there'll probably be about maybe a 10% elite. Yeah, but the rest of you and the rest of us will everything's going to decline very precipitously. That is why Elon is saying working will be optional. America will be a massive welfare state. Elon is saying that. You know that? And he even said it's not going to be just basic income. He says it may be, in fact, it may be, in fact, something really exceptional. Your income may not be just basic. We may be making so much money with all of this new AI technology, especially if we're out in front and controlling the whole world, that we might be able to give you a lot more money than just basic income. You might actually be a little bit more happy because we're going to try to make you happy. Well, that is for whoever is left of the culling that's going to be taking place here after the Third World War begins, because whoever does happen to survive will probably be still not having a job, because obviously robotics and AI is going to take over everything. You're going to have robotic servants. I mean, look at what Elon's making. He's making an army of robots, a literal military type robotic army. Did you see the Chinese doing that now, making robot armies? I mean, this is just like Star Wars. You got your Star Wars robots that were out there fighting with their lasers. That's exactly what they're doing right now. It's not just drone technology, AI-driven drones and warfare and weapons. These are going to be robots that literally have weapons. That's why that meme that we had, Klaus Schwab singing that song, Robot. He says, robot cops are at your door. Yeah, you're going to have robot cops rolling up to your house. And they won't even be afraid to get shot because they're not even going to care. Like they're just robots. You got your guns, but hey, you got flesh and blood, and, you can die. They're not going to die. They can just send a drone over to your house anyway. And they can track everything through satellite too, by the way. They track everything. And they got it all recorded. Everything. And every little detail of what you do on your computer, it's all being recorded, databased. You got a digital clone of yourself right now in the cloud. They have access to everything. And now this is way beyond anything that you even understand or know. Just so you know. You don't want to be out of the know here. You want to know what's going on, right? This is total and complete. This is the total and complete destruction of the middle class. They will make it so that you're forced to rely on UBI from government to survive. And even then, it will be brutal day to day. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. Welcome to the golden age. It's a golden age. Eternal peace. But anyways, just thought I would bring some sunshine into your day today. It's kind of like a big flip-flop, from darkness to light. Like I want to make sure you understand the world that you're in, and the only way to escape it. There's only one way to escape. It says in the scriptures that we escape the corruption that's in the world that's caused by lust, right? And what is the lust? It is the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, the pride of what one has and what one does. This is what chokes out your understanding and your knowledge in your relationship with God. But how do you secure that? Well, you escape the corruption. You can escape that corruption by finding the truth and holding to it fast and letting God work his will in your heart and life. And he will set you free. Whom the Son sets free is free indeed. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, it says there is liberty. You want true liberty? The only liberty that can come, that can free you is God. He's the only one that can set you free. You can't free yourself. You can't remake yourself. You can't liberate yourself through money. Money is not your God, and it will never in any way set you free. It may give you a semblance of somewhat of a kind of a natural earthly kind of feeling of freedom, but it's not really freedom. You're actually bound to the God of that power that everybody idolizes. Like really, it's what people idolize. That's why it says you're serving God or you're going to be serving mammon. The love of money is the root of all evil, right? It's not money itself in the sense of resources. It's just the love of it. It's the desire to put it on a pedestal as if it's your God. The God of gold and silver, right? The gods of gold and silver. Isn't that what Belshazzar was worshiping right before he died and his kingdom was overthrown? He was worshiping the gods of gold and silver. And people that put them on a pedestal are going to ultimately find the handwriting on the wall. Your kingdom is going to fall. You can put all your hope and confidence in those that have money and think that they're gods, but they're not. They are just mortal men who have a little bit more resource than you, outwardly. But that's not going to save you. Your heart can be turned off in a moment if God decides it. Just going to turn his heart off. He thinks he's got it all. That's that parable Jesus talked about, where the man was like, oh, I have all this money. I'm going to go out and build another barn to store my stuff. And Jesus said, this man is a fool. He doesn't realize that tonight his life is going to be required of him. Then who's going to get all of his stuff? Who's going to take all of his stuff at that point? Think about how short life is. Let's see. What else we got here? Joe Rogan just posted a clip from his podcast saying that Jesus could absolutely return as AI. What? That's crazy. This is beyond dangerous and a huge deception. I am sure that the views that have 322 in it, just a coincidence. Oh, he had 322 views. What? Let me see. Joe Rogan said, Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, you don't think he could return as artificial intelligence? AI could absolutely return as Jesus. Joe Rogan has taken a little bit too much DMT. That's the problem with Joe Rogan. He's overdosed on DMT, and that's why he keeps seeing all these little elves and everything. I mean, you want to know why Joe Rogan was so popular? Because the demons empowered him on his DMT trips. He took a lot of DMT. Let's see. Before I go, I'm gonna share with you two more things here. He said, let's see. It says, Acts chapter 1 verses 11 tells us that Jesus will return the exact same way that he went to heaven, a physical, bodily, not a hologram, not CGI, or some pathetic technology. Everyone will see him, and there will be mourning, not rejoicing. And why? Because they know that what comes next, because people like us have been warning. People will know in their hearts and their minds that Jesus has returned, and they weren't ready, and they didn't believe, and he's coming to judge, right? We, however, will be rejoicing, so get ready to get out of this evil realm. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. India orders tracking app to be installed on all smartphones. So tracking apps are coming to America as well. All this stuff is coming. If you look at what's going on in other countries, we're going to be implementing that here quickly. And we're going to try to do it in such a way that we are the head of everything that's going on in the world. So Trump is just going to try to sneak all this stuff in through these bills, which is what they're doing. And they're already setting everything up. Mom and pop businesses are filing for bankruptcy at record numbers as debt piles up. And this is true. It's happening everywhere. And these are headlines that are being talked about right now. And evidence is everywhere. Okay, the evidence is everywhere. So I don't know how you can say this is Trump derangement syndrome. This is just reality, everybody. Sorry that I have to pop your bubble. If you're middle class and you're one of the Trump supporters, you should be already understanding this by just taking a poll and just looking at your own personal experience. Unless you've got a business or some kind of industry that you're in that doesn't have anything to do with computers or, robotics and all that stuff that's now getting ready to take over. The robotic part is coming online here real soon, so don't worry. AI though is taking a lot of jobs, but you're going to see it and not to mention the tariffs and everything else. If you're a small business, you're being tariffed out of the middle class. But anyway, guys, I just want to say God bless and thank you guys for hanging out with me once again and all your support. For those who have gotten behind us with what we're doing, I want to thank you. Thank you for sharing the videos, promoting us everywhere you can. God bless you. And I will be seeing you guys back here real soon. Hopefully not on a bad note, but I'm sure that's where everything is going. But like I said, in the midst of all the storms, he rides upon the storm. You're going to see an answer. That's where miracles happen. All right. So even if all things work together for good, everything turns bad, you're going to see if you're trusting, if you're a person of faith and you do trust in the Lord, truly trust in him, then it'll all turn out for your good. So that you can put all your money into, right? That's where you invest your whole heart, life, soul, everything that you are, you put into that. So that will never be taken from you. Where moth and rust do not corrupt and thieves do not break in to steal. That's where you want to invest and store your treasures. Amen? Treasures in heaven. That's where you got to put it. God